Okay, we're gonna teach Thomas how to restore a SQL backup to his environment. Hey Thomas,
Yes, sir.
how's it going there?
Good.
Okay, so first thing we're gonna do, we've already recorded a video on how to get backups made at the county and how to move backups via FTP to Ruth. So in our environment, on our network, you should just be able to go to your File Explorer in Windows and go to Ruth. On Ruth, we've got a folder called Upload. This is where our files get moved to. You see we're in the process of getting this file right here. It's incoming still. You'll watch this number's growing, and if the numbers are growing and changing, I'm hitting F5 to refresh, then you know the FTP is still on its way down. So that one's not, you can't use that one right now, but we'll go ahead and back up to an older copy do you have Johnson County on your data?
Right now I've got an old Bryan copy. That's all I've got. But I wouldn't mind Grady since they're doing everything.
Okay, well the one you want from Grady's still coming down, so we'll go ahead and get Bryan's right now. The files you're looking for they'll have the date, and they'll have the name of the county, the date the backup was taken, and the time the backup was taken, and their .bak file. This is a compressed SQL backup file.
So this was back from what
This
date?
is the 9th of January.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so that's where it is on Ruth. What you'll want to do is move that file, make a copy of it, and put it on your machine. Like most of the KTS developers do it this way. You can really put it anywhere you want to on your own computer. But if you put it in your client key folder, you'll find a folder called SQL Backup, and that's really where the system backs up its own data. And so I just put if I copy a backup from a customer, that's where I put them in my machine. So that's just moving the data from Ruth to your local hard drive. Alright, so when that's done, you can launch your SQL Management Studio and connect to your local SQL server. So your server's you're logging in with Windows Authentication. And you can go down here to your databases, and you can see that you've got a copy of Bryan already. And what we're going to restore is another copy of Bryan. So this video is just going to teach you how to replace a current copy rather than how to. You can have two copies of Bryan if you wanted to, but that's okay. Change the Windows scheme. Keep my scheme. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it and delete it.
Can you name the new one something other than Bryan? Maybe KTS Bryan.
Sure, if you want to. Now, understand the database name, they'll use it in other places, like our import routine. So whatever you name it, you're going to say import space and that name.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep it short and sweet. But
okay.
so I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this database. I noticed you have a copy of it running down here, right there.
Just whenever you have a minute, I'm on a computer of Rotten Treasure, and this.
So he's got a copy down here running, and so this kind of simulates if you're at a county or if you're on with other users, you can still do this while they're. I mean, it's gonna kick them, but you got an option for close existing connections. So I'll say OK, and it's just gonna delete the database. So if I go now into my app and try to do something, it's going to crash because the database is gone now. So okay, that was just a message from Key telling me it couldn't find the database. Alright, so now we right click on databases, we go restore database, and we want to he wanted to call that KTS underscore Brian. You can really call it anything you want. We're going to get it from a device, and it's on his C drive. Right here at the top. Client, key, SQL backup, and there's the one from the 9th. Okay, you have to tell it, if you opened a device that had multiple copies of a backup, you'd have to pick which one you want to restore. We only have one in ours, so it's easy to decide. You just check that. Go to the Options tab here and tell it to overwrite any existing databases with that name, because it's actually going to try to write it to the same location as that old one. When you deleted it earlier from SQL, it removed it from SQL, but it didn't actually delete the physical files. So that's why you have to say overwrite. You say OK, and it's going to restore. Okay, so the restore is completed. So now we have a fresh copy of Brian's data in our system. As a KTS developer, though, there's a couple of things you'll want to do. There's a couple of settings within the database that are specific to the physical location where it's running. At Brian, it's running on a server that has a D drive. Here in our development environment, we don't have a D drive, we have a C drive. So we've got to change a couple of settings that are inside this database. We've got a tool to do all that. Our import tool is what you're going to use. So open your KTS command prompt, and you'll say import and the name of your database. And then if you do a test, I'll make this a little bigger here, we can all see it. If you run a test, it'll return those settings for you. So you'll see that your path to your Git repository on the server at Brian is D sys client key KTS. On your machine, it's C client key KTS. So you'll want to change that. That's option S. So see S, server's path to the repo. And it's just asking for the server's path, C client key KTS. Now if I test my connection, I've got the right path to the repo. I've also got a setting here called Get Committer. If you're going to be making commits to the repository, you'll need to change that to true. You can change the Get Committer status right here, option G. But Thomas doesn't want to make commits, so we'll leave that as false. That's it. So find this little shortcut, and we'll launch it. KTS right there. See if it works. KTS, Brian on local. Login failed for KTS user. Oops. Oh, yeah, he changed the name of the database, so we'll need to go into his RID here and make a change. For development here, we're doing all non-encrypted RIDs, so you can't always do this if you don't. If you don't run your system this way, but that's not work. See if we got any data from the 9th. Yep, sure enough, we got 109 tax receipts on the 9th of January now. So looks like we got a good restored backup. That's how you do that. Goodbye.